This is a big story we have been talking about here in the newsroom. In California, a team of investigators say they have identified the Zodiac Killer, whom they believe is connected to 5 murders in the San Francisco Bay Area back in the late 1960s. NewsNation correspondent Michael Shore is following this story. So, Michael, what do we know so far?
Nicole, it's amazing. We should first say that this case is not officially solved, right? They haven't said that this is exactly, law enforcement hasn't said this is exactly who did this. But this group of really retired law enforcement, journalists, enthusiasts, and experts have taken to solving cold cases. And this is one of the most famous cold cases. And these retirees have done quite a thing. It is one of America's most famous cold cases, and now a group made up of over 40 former law enforcement officials, military intelligence officers, and journalists say that they have solved the case of the Zodiac Killer.
We realize this team is making history.
That team is Tom Colbert and his group called the Case Breakers, and they say their work has led them to conclude that Gary Francis Post, who died in 2018, was the Zodiac Killer, connected with at least 5 murders that took place in the San Francisco Bay Area in the late 1960s. The spree was marked by a series of letters containing ciphers that were sent to law enforcement and journalists at the time and which stymied investigators for decades. And it may have been a photo found in Post's darkroom that clinched it, revealing an image of him with a scar that matched scars on some of the sketches he had sent.
The scar itself is what caught everyone, especially my FBI guys on the team, who are very difficult to please. And they're not impressed. But for them to say it's irrefutable, that's the first time they use that word.
The Case Breakers have undertaken other famous cases, from that of hijacker D.B. Cooper to the disappearance of labor leader Jimmy Hoffa. Not only do they say they have solved this case, but that they needed to crack the Zodiac code in order to crack the case. A former code breaker from the Cooper case verifying their work on this one.
And he came back and said, "You're on the right track. You're breaking this." And it was him that figured out at the very end the signature was there, and it was in the form of stamps because his last name was Post.
I mean, isn't that amazing, Nicole, that he would sign a lot of these with just a name or something else, his last name being Post, P-O-S-T-E. He would just put some postage stamps at the end. That was the giveaway that it was Gary Francis Post. These cases go forward now. Law enforcement has to take them up. As of now, police in San Francisco, police in Riverside County, where there's still a pending potential case involving the Zodiac Killer, they say that this is still an open case situation. Nicole?
Still an open case. So fascinating, Michael. Definitely, we cannot wait to see what happens here. All right. Thank you.